All right. So Diwali, of course, the festival which we all wait for the entire year, and which typically celebrates the return of Lord Rama and Goddess Sita to Ayodhya. And in the celebrations of their uh, happy return after 14 long years. So that's the traditional story around it, of course. And, of course, that happened long, 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 long back. Why do we celebrate it today? Uh, why do we light diyas? What is the meaning of lighting the deepam or the diya? Now, there are many interpretations, many symbologies associated with this. Of course, when we hear of these stories of these avatars, many of these things are, you know, physical. They happen, but many of these things are also symbolical. Many things that happen and depicted in the story are also symbolical. And for us to appreciate the true essence of Diwali, I think if you look at Lord Rama himself, so then we will be able to appreciate what Diwali is actually. So this uh, discussion that we are going to have tonight, a short, I'll try to keep it as short. I don't know how long will it go, but to understand Lord Rama and then be able to appreciate what Diwali really means for us. Now, let's first understand the first thing about it. First of all, let's understand when was Lord Rama, uh, in the physical form on this planet Earth, so-called Earth. So, according to the teachings, he appeared on Earth somewhere around 5114 BC. Now, how did I come to that number? I'm not a astrological, expert or anything. We are just deriving from the wisdom of Sri Yukteswar Giri. So somewhere around, so according to his explanation, each zodiac sign is approximately 2000 years, and to complete all the zodiac signs, which means it takes about 24,000 years. If you work backwards, according to the calculations, so somewhere around 5114 BC is when Lord Rama walked the earth. That was the age of Gemini. Now, this zodiac sign is very special, or very interesting, I would say. The Gemini, as you know, is depicted by two, twins, right? Now, the twin is just again a symbology of something called duality. That's why in Ramayana you would see there are many, many characters who have either twins or, like for example, Lord Rama's son, Love and Kush, twins, right? Uh, and many other such, like even, what was that? I think Lakshman and Shatrughan were twins, isn't it? Then there are many such characters who are shown in a dual way. Now, not just twin in terms of the physical birth, but there are many, many characters which have dual personalities. For example, Kaikeyi, she is a beautiful queen of Lord Dashrath, very brave, very kind. But when it comes to some part of the life, she completely forgets all the love and anything else, and she shows a different nature altogether, which King Dashratha never saw. Or even uh, the main character, or one of the main characters, Ravan. He is uh, the most knowledgeable character, and he is also of a higher. Actually, if you understand the so-called the caste system, right? So the Brahmin caste or caste is shown above the Kshatriya. So in that sense, he was from a Brahmin and from the lineage of Lord Brahma, right? So the whole family as it descends down. But on one side, he was so knowledgeable, so learned, and so passionate about music, art, and he had conquered all the, or he got all the siddhis and stuff. On the other hand, he shows another side of it, right? all the pride, lust, jealousy, and whatnot, right? So a dual nature. In fact, Lord Rama himself depicts that dual nature. On one side, he is so soft, he is so tender. So if you remember uh, the story when, let's say, he walks into Janak Puri to marry Sita, everybody looked at him and say, "Hey, he's such a tender boy. I mean, can he even lift the bow of Lord Shiva?" Right? So, but then on the other side, he's so brave and he's full of valor that, to get his wife back, he doesn't take any help of the army of. He could have very well, uh, called upon the help from his brother. Hey, come over. Let's go and fight Ravan. Or he could have called Janak and say, hey, please send your army. But no, he takes the army of the so-called lower beings. When I say lower beings, I don't mean to put them down. I only mean to say from a human perspective to a animal perspective, in terms of their evolution. So he takes the army of monkeys, I don't know, bears, vulture, or and whatnot, right? So again, a dual nature. And Lord Rama is supposed to be also called the Maryada Purushottam Ram, isn't it? So Maryada Purushottam, Purush Uttam, Purusha. Purusha is actually not just, it is not in the context of male, or Istri is not in terms of female. Purusha is actually pure energy. Hmm? That's why you have the Purusha and you have the Moola Prakriti. Moola Prakriti is root matter. Mool Prakriti, root matter. And you have Purusha. When Purusha and Mool Prakriti combine, there is union and there is creation. So when we say Lord Rama is Purush Uttam, Uttam means the best or the superior, uh, the best of all, having all the qualities within him, imbibed in him, in his nature. And if you you know see his entire journey, what is depicted in Ramayana or Sri Ramcharitmanas, or all of that scriptures, you wouldn't see that at different times he depicts different emotions. So when he loses his wife, he cries. He becomes, very, very vulnerable. He cries when he has to fight some demons to protect, some rishis and stuff. He becomes the warrior prince. Hmm? When he goes to, during these 14 years, when he is visiting the different ashrams of different sages and munis, he, being an incarnation of the Lord Brahma himself, knows everything. And yet, when he goes there, he folds his hand, sits at the feet of all those sages. So it's an act of humility. Sages also know, by the way, that this person who is coming is not an ordinary being. He's already killed so many, Rakshasas and Asuras, and does many wonders, turned a stone into a woman and whatnot. And yet they allow him to show humility. They don't say, okay, no, 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 you are Rama, you're, king of Ayodhya or whatever, and then come on, sit on. The Rama sits at their feet. That's also a quality of Lord Rama that comes to the fore. Now, the entire story of Ramayana itself is actually a story of great love and sacrifice. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is obvious, very obvious, right? The story of Lord Rama and Lord Sita, Goddess Sita. But you know what? There is something more than that. It is not just Lord Rama and Goddess Sita. It is also about Lord Rama and Ravana. And there's a great love there. And in fact, between Sita and Ravana. And this aspect is not very clearly evident or understood by most of the people. In fact, as we know, Lord Rama is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu. If you study about the lives of Ravan, he is actually, in his original form, so to say, he is a doorkeeper of where Lord Vishnu resides. Okay, so he is his disciple, or a servant, or whatever you want to call it. So he's very, very close, very, very close to Lord Rama, sorry, to Lord Vishnu. But then how come in this lifetime they are the fiercest of enemies? So there is a story. I mean, I'll not go into many details, but essentially in the Vaikunt, as we call it, in Vaikunt Dham, where Lord Vishnu resides, one time there are seven rishis. They are depicted in the form of small child. Small children. They are called Sanat Kumaras. Sanat Kumaras, in a deeper esoteric sense, they are not. I mean, they are very highly evolved celestial beings. Of course, they're shown in the form of small children, about the age of 7 or whatever. But once they were visiting, and these doorkeepers, whose name was Jay and Vijay, they did not know who these guys were, so they declined entry for these Sanat Kumaras to meet Lord Vishnu. So these boys became angry and they cursed Jay and Vijay. So of course these guys got scared. So they went to Lord Vishnu. Hey, what do I do now? What do we do? So Lord Vishnu said, you have two options. And these are all mythological stories, but we'll talk about symbology a little later. But essentially, he gave them two options: either be my friend, because I'll be incarnating many times, perhaps. You be my friend, or no, not my friend. You just go there, be a nice person, and you take 14 lifetimes, 14 lifetimes, and then because you have been cursed, I can't reverse it, but I can give you a passage to salvation, to come back. Or you take 3 lives birth, you became my enemy, you become my enemy, and you take only 3 births, and then you can return. So these guys say, oh, 14 lifetimes is too long. Let us take 3 lifetimes. First lifetime, they were born as Hiranyakashyap. You know Hiranyakashyap? And the story associated with the avatar Narsimha, right? And the Vaman avatar. Sorry, not Vaman avatar, Varaha avatar. So in that lifetime, they were that form. In the second lifetime, they were born as Ravan and Kumbhakaran. So this Ravana is, so that's why when Lord Vishnu and Goddess Lakshmi come down, they come down to bring back their most beloved disciples. So imagine from a lofty height, just to think it symbolically, or if you want to just imagine a height. So from such a lofty height, that takes tremendous amount of sacrificial love to come down in the human form to take back a disciple. That is what a guru does when he wants to take his disciples with him. The sacrifices that a guru makes, being in the physical form, taking the hardships, taking the karma, not it is not very evident to the disciples, but behind the scenes, lot of things go. So when we have a guru, we should be ultimate, we should have that ultimate reverence towards the teacher who has done many, 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 many sacrifices from eons and eons and eons of lifetimes, so that we are not lost, that we also find a passage of return. Okay. And when we talk about Goddess Sita also, again, a story of tremendous love, and to help Ravan, she allows herself. This is again a bit physical as well as esoteric in a way. They both being incarnations of Goddess Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu, they knew that why they are here on earth. But in that form of that highly, I would say, highly divine form, it was impossible that Ravan can understand them or can come near, or he would not understand and will not be able to comprehend. And that's why there is this concept which Master always talks about, is the step down transformers, right? Now in that context, so Goddess Sita, so that Ravan can actually capture her, before this happens, they already know. She takes a form, she takes a form which is lower form. It looks same, is a lower form which Ravan can then interact with. In that higher divine form, Ravan, being representative of the lower nature, cannot come in contact with the higher nature. So Goddess Sita sacrifices, takes a lower form, tones down the energy, because at that level only she can meet Ravan, or Ravan can meet her. So that's also an act of sacrifice, and she symbolically leaves her original form in the hands of fire, the god of fire. And of course, at the end of 14 years, it is again symbolic. You can't imagine somebody walking through the entire ball of fire and come out alive, right? Or something like that. So when she crossed the fire, it is symbolic, first of all. It simply means that she came back in her original form, the divine form. Now, what is this meaning? So when does she come back? After Ravan has been conquered, after the lower nature has been conquered, is when spiritual energy, which is Lord Rama, can unite with the mother matter. So it's again the same thing, right? The Purusha and the Mula Prakriti. Only when the lower nature is slayed, is won upon, is when the spiritual energy and the mother aspect can combine. So it's again symbolic there. Okay. Now there is another thing that happens. Like to talk about another symbology here, which is of the antelope, the form that Ravan takes. Okay. Now there is a much deeper esoteric sense or meaning behind this form of the so-called deer or an antelope. Why this form? Why not something else? Why not a monkey or I don't know what, right? Or any other animal for that matter. So first of all, as you see, the antelope or the deer moves very fast, moves very fast, is very swift. It's like a jumping mind. When the mind is all at everywhere, you can just jumping from one place to another, it is difficult to achieve union. Another aspect of antelope or the deer is that the deer searches for that smell. Have you heard of something called kasturi? So there is a concept called or a variety of deer, I would just say, kasturi mrig. Kasturi mrig has the essence, it emanates the smell or the fragrance of kasturi, which is a very beautiful nectar, or very divine fragrance in a way. So this deer is looking outside in the world without realizing that it is inside. This is what we do, right? Our mind is so swift, so restless, and we keep going all the places everywhere in the world without realizing that the peace, the love, and the path to return to the home is within us. The key or the secret is in the heart, as Master was fond of saying. So that's another symbology behind, when Sita had to take a lower form, it became more human. She was illusioned. That's why this whole Mayavi roop, right? So this Maya or illusion, unless this Maya is removed, Maya of what? Have you heard of Dante's Inferno? Anybody heard of Dante's Inferno or Dante's Hell? It talks about nine vices or nine negative qualities because of which we go through hell. Of course, 9 plus 1, there's the one which is not shown is pride. Pride is the one which makes a person forget or does not even realize that he has other negative qualities. Guess what? 10 Dante's hell, 10 heads of the Shanan. Mhm. Is there a commonality? So it's all symbologies. Now, what else? Uh, what else? What else? Okay. So now, when when the duality, now if you think from the spiritual aspect here, when the duality is won over, right? When one of the dualities or one of the interesting aspect is to overcome the Maya, to overcome the illusion. And what is the greatest illusion? The greatest illusion is that we are a physical being. To overcome this Maya, we are born. So, again, contradictory, right? We are born into the darkness to uncover this ignorance, to uncover this illusion, to remove this illusion. When the darkness, when the veil is removed, is when the light can shine forth. That is symbology behind why do we light a diya. Even diya is dualistic. On the top you can see the light, at the bottom is the darkness. Yes. So the more we remove, the more we work towards realizing our true nature, the more we are enlightened, the more light we have. And perhaps that is one meaning of deep avali. Deep is diya, like a lamp. Avali is the row. When we start modifying, or I would say not modifying, but purify our chakras, because each chakra, as we all know, I mean, most of you have studied at least pranic psychotherapy or something like that, you already know that each chakra has a psycho-spiritual function. The meaning of removing darkness from each chakra, and thereby, when you purify a certain aspect, or when you develop a certain virtue, you let the chakra become brighter, shine forth. If some clairvoyant would look at you, he would say, hey, wow, there's some light coming out. And of course, it looks like a diya. So the real meaning of lighting diyas in Diwali is not just the physical diyas that we light, they are just symbolic. But the true meaning is, when we win over our negative tendencies, the more and more we take efforts to purify ourselves, to build our character, the more and more we take efforts to master the virtues, automatically the diyas, the chakras in the body become brighter, the light shines forth, and we can achieve many things. Okay, now let's talk about the word Rama itself. Why is it so important? Rama, the word Ra, denotes fire. If you look at the corresponding terminology in Egyptian, Ra is the Egyptian son of God. Okay, so it symbolizes fire. Ma symbolizes the energy of the moon. When you chant Ra Ma, essentially you are allowing the lower energies and upper energies to become in sync, and you are able to ascend higher. Okay, so what we do is, for example, by if you know, right, for example, there was a story of what was that hunter's name, I forgot, uh, Angulimal or someone, right, who would kill people and cut their fingers. By meditate, and it was difficult for him to chant Rama, so he was asked to chant Mara 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 Mara, which is, and then by chanting the reverse, he started chanting Ram Ram. the Shudra becomes, or the hunter, or the uh, lower being, he became a sage. By meditating on the word Rama, purifies our different auras, different bodies, purifies it at different level, all the levels. In fact, it is also said that when we when we take the name of Lord Rama, it's like we can cross the different worlds. What does this mean? There's a beautiful story in Ramayana when he was going into the jungle at the start of his 14 years of exile. He goes to the river bank, and there's this boatman who, first of all, of course, he recognizes that he's the prince of Ayodhya and all of that. He wanted to touch his feet, and of course, probably he also knew that who is he behind the physical form. So he tries to touch Lord Rama's feet, and Lord Rama says, "Hey, no, you can't touch my feet. No, no, no. I'm just a common man." So very cleverly, first of all, this guy responds, "You know what? See, I don't believe you. Last time you touched a stone, that stone turned a woman. If you put your feet on my boat, it turns into a woman. I will have two wives to take care of. Sorry, I can't allow you. Let me wash your feet first." So very smart answer. And then he, enters the boat. He takes him across the river. And then at the end of it, Lord Rama, being very generous, he wants to give him something. He turns towards Sita. Say, what do we do? What can we give? Sita says, you know what? We have left everything behind. The only thing I have is this one gold ring. I can give you that. So Lord Rama says, yeah, go ahead. No, no, no problem at all. She takes it out, gives it to the boatman. The boatman says, hey, this is too small a price. He said, what do you want? So look at this generosity aspect of Lord Rama. Again, this is one quality we need to understand. He gave unconditionally. He could have said, hey, you know what? My brother is a king of Ayodhya now, Bharat. Go and take whatever you want. All the abhushan's, all the jewelries, or whatever you want, just go and take it. He didn't say that. First of all, he said, whatever I have left, I am willing to give you. And then when the boatman says, this is too small a price, then he says, whatever you want. So boatman, being very shrewd man, he says, now this is very interesting. Please pay close attention. The boatman says, in a way, my profession and your profession are the same. My profession and your profession are the same. I take people across lands. I let them or help them cross the river. You help people cross the worlds. Please just return the favor. Take me into the higher realms. When we chant or when we meditate on the word Rama, all our sorrows are dissolved, all our ailments are dissolved, many things, negative qualities are dissolved, and we are able to ascend, transcend higher into higher realms. That's why one of the uses of the mantra, of course, I'll talk about mantra very, very briefly. It's already half an hour, but um, so that's why the mantra called Om Namo Rama Om. It's a very beautiful, powerful mantra. It's a very soothing and healing energies. So one of the uses of this mantra is those who have left the physical body. When you pray for them, you chant this mantra, you bless them after this. It helps them to ascend higher, faster, because their attachments to the lower worlds are dissolved when we chant the or when we meditate on the word Rama. Of course, here does not mean that when we talk about, don't take it in a negative sense of, hey, you know what, I'll become a recluse after this if I chant Rama. It is not the meaning. Don't take it to that far. What it simply means, because desire in itself is not bad. Desire which is unwholesome is bad. Desire of money is bad if you are excessively attached to it. Desire of money to help many other people, very good, isn't it? Is it good to have ambition to earn good money and take care of your family so that you can take care of your family? Yes, that's a good desire. Otherwise, how would you take care of your family? If all desire was bad, that is a one misinterpretation of this very simple fact that people think of, hey, all desires are bad. No, it is not true. Your desire, it is the desire or the thirst or the trishna. We I think spoke about that few days ago, I think, right? Um, I don't know whether it was few days or few weeks ago. I don't remember, but we spoke about the trishna, the thirst, the desire of the higher soul to purify itself. Remember, higher soul is pure but not yet perfect. It is the desire of that higher soul. That's why this comes down. If all desire was bad, this is bad too. Desire itself is not bad. But when you chant, when you meditate on the word Rama or on the name of God Rama, your unwholesome desires are melted away. It is easier for you to be detached, whether good happens to you, whether bad happens to you, the so-called bad, right? uh, you remain detached. Okay. One last thing, on Diwali we clean home, isn't it? We do all the windows and everything. We clean everything around our home, in our home, inside and out. But if you think about it, and we just spoke on that, is about the inner purification. Inner purification of what? The actual true meaning is purify this home, this physical body, this vehicle, which is the home for the spirit, home for the soul. Without purifying this, if you just purify your home but you keep doing all the other stuff, nothing. So just shift your focus as you, of course, take efforts to clean your physical environment. Take effort, take time to purify your thoughts, emotions, because in that purification is the real purification. And when the purification is done, when the veil of darkness is removed, is when the true light shines forth. Okay, so that's that. Let's do a short meditation, shall we? Please sit comfortably. Remember one thing: when you devote, when you have that bhakti in you, all the ego melts away. In bhakti, in devotion, there is no place of ego. So when you have that, so have that bhav, as we call it in Hindi or Sanskrit. Close your eyes. The way to chant or the way to meditate on the word Rama. In fact, it is said that the phrase Rama itself is more so-called powerful than Lord Rama himself. Lord Rama is just a physical entity. Don't look at the physical being. Look at the spiritual being behind the physical being. Okay? So the way to chant Rama is not just Ram, it's Rama. So try to, when you chant, we'll all do it together. When you chant Ra Ma, equal if you can, in a way, so equal duration or equal expansion of both, so that there is a balanced uh, energy of the fire as well as of the moon. Moon represents water or fire, yin energy. Fire or sun represents the yang energy. So it's a balance of both the types of energies within us. Okay. Now, in fact, chanting the Lord Rama's name or the phrase Rama itself is like doing a shot twin hearts. We'll do that together, shall we? Close your eyes, sit comfortably, keep your tongue on the roof of your mouth in the Kechari Mudra. It's the key chari. It's actually the key chari. Chari means movement, ki is energy. When we put Kechari Mudra, energy moves faster in the body. Ki chari, it's actually ki chari, not Kechari. Now, as you chant Ra, be aware of your secondary navel chakras, which is about 1.5 inches below the navel, and be aware of the movement of energy between the secondary navel and the solar plexus chakra. As we chant Rama 3 times, the first 3 times, be aware of this movement between the secondary navel and the solar plexus. We will prefix the mantra, we will prefix the phrase Rama with Om. Om is the beginning of all creation, and Om is the end of all creation. Everything else is between the Om. And in the praise of Lord Rama, we'll use the mantra Om Namo Rama Om. So gently be aware of your secondary navel, and let's chant Om Namo Rama Om. Om Namo Rama Om. Om Namo Rama Om. Be still, be aware. Let your awareness be in your Sushumna, the central meridian, in the line of the spine. As we chant the mantra again, move your awareness from your heart into your crown. Keep your awareness centered in the Sushumna Nadi, the central meridian. Om Namo Be still. Be aware of the energy moving through your Sushumna and reaching your crown chakra. Be aware of the stillness, peace, and love. We will chant the mantra another 3 times. This time, move your awareness onto your 12th chakra, 12 inches above the crown. Keep your awareness on the 12th chakra. Let us chant. Om Namo Rama. Om Namo Rama. Om Namo Rama. Be still, be aware, and let go. Now, allow the energy to expand. Allow your consciousness to expand. Let go. Gently, slowly come back to your body. Move your fingers, move your feet, move your toes. Raise your hands in blessing. Visualize earth in front of you and release the excess energy. May whole of Mother Earth be divinely blessed with peace, with harmony, with love, with progress. May every person, every being on Mother Earth be blessed with love, with peace, with happiness, with joy, with inner healing and physical healing. So be it. May all the sentient beings in the higher worlds, middle worlds, lower worlds, in all the dimensions, in all the directions, be blessed. Without exception, may all the sentient beings be blessed with peace, with love, with happiness, with joy, with compassion. May all the sentient beings be blessed with compassionate, purifying light and soothing, healing energies. So be it. May whole of India be blessed. May whole of Indian subcontinent be blessed. May whole of Asia be blessed. May the continent of Europe be blessed. May the whole of East, West, and Central Europe be blessed. May whole of United Kingdom and Ireland be blessed. May Middle East be blessed. May whole of Africa be blessed. May United States of America be blessed. May whole of North America and South America be blessed. May whole of Australia and New Zealand be blessed. May whole of Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power. So be it. May the heart chakras of all the sentient beings be filled with loving energy. Be blessed. So be it. Bless your parents, your siblings, their spouses, their children, your spouse, your children. May all of them be blessed with good health, happiness, with prosperity and abundance, with spirituality, with harmony and divine peace. So be it. Bless your friends, your associates, your colleagues, your relatives. May all of them be blessed with divine light, divine love, divine power. So be it. You say, I hereby will and decree that anyone who comes in contact with me, either physically or through any other communication mechanism, may every person be blessed. So be it. So be it. And so it is. Om. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Gently put your hands down. Massage your palms, rub your palms, put them on your eyes, And slowly and gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. Okay. All right. So that's that. We are done with the session. I think we hope you had a wonderful session. You could learn a little bit. I tried my best to give you a short understanding. But you can take this with you, of course, right? Just meditate on the word Rama, the essence of Lord Rama, and experience healing on different levels. Okay. And once again, to all of you, wish you a very happy Diwali and a prosperous New Year. Atma, Namaste.
Atma Namaste.
Atma Namaste.
Happy Diwali to everyone. Thank you.
Atma Namaste. Happy Diwali to everyone. Thank you.
Manam. Happy Diwali. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.